Hi everyone, my name is Giovanna Proença and today we're going to talk about Problem Set 8 Seasons of Love of CS50 Introduction to Programming with Python. If you'd like to participate in our Telegram group and also have group coaching with other people for only $20, check the description below. And we would like to emphasize that this video solution is made for those who have already completed the assignment and want to have an alternative view about the problem. We totally discourage plagiarism. Alright, so basically here in Seasons of Love, we're gonna receive, let's see in here, we're gonna receive the date of birth in this format, year-month-day, and we're gonna make some math, make some coding here to check how many minutes we have from the birth date until today. Alright, so this is basically it. CS50 gave here this pseudocode, alright, and I already implemented in here. And later on, once we finish the seasons, we're going to do the testings, alright? So let's just start. The first thing we need to do here is to get the date of birth, right? So let's start in this part. So birth date, for example, birth date. We're going to use input to get the birth date, and if we take a look in here in the way that they are expecting us to do, if we receive the correct format, we're gonna calculate, alright? But if we receive the wrong format, we have to send a message invalid date, okay? But this is the next step. First, this is the message we're gonna display in the input, date of birth. So I'm gonna put here, date of birth. Okay, then what are we gonna do? Now we're gonna do this part here, checking if the user is giving us the correct answer, all right? So to do this, I'm gonna create a separate function, all right, that will help us in here. So I'm gonna create a function here, check birthday, for example. And what are we gonna receive in this function? We're gonna receive the birth date, okay? So birth date here. We're gonna receive this parameter, and here we're gonna do the checkings. So what is a good library that can help us to check if we're receiving the correct format, the correct pattern? It's the regular expressions. So let's understand how regular expressions work, and then we can see the function that we're gonna use. A regex or regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms a search pattern. The regular expression can be used to check if a string contains the specified search pattern. Python has a built-in package called RE, which can be used to work with regular expressions. So with regular expressions, we can use some specific functions that can help us to check the pattern, all right? And this specific function that will help us will be the search function, okay? So let's see this animation explaining how the search function works. The search function searches the string for a match and returns a match object if there is a match. If there is more than one match, only the first occurrence of the match will be returned. For example, we have a variable called txt that stores the value the rain in Spain. We can use the function read.search to find if the word rain exists in the variable txt. In this case, the output of our code will be a match object telling us that we have the word rain inside of our text. We can think about another example. What if we want to find the word Portugal inside of our txt variable? We can use the re.search function again. So in this case, we would change the word rain to Portugal. Then the output of this code will be none because no match were found. Well, so we have kind of the main idea in our hands. Let's start applying, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do in here will be working with testing our regular expression, okay? So let's see in here, what is our pattern? We wanna receive 4 numbers, that will be the year, dash 2 numbers, that will be the month, dash 2 numbers, 2 digits, right? That will be the day. So this will be exactly what we're gonna look for, okay? So I'm gonna put in here, for example, we wanna find, I'm gonna insert here a testing number, for example, my birthday, 1998, 0703, all right? We're expecting to receive this. So what will be the pattern? We wanna receive 4 digits that can be between 0 and 9 in the beginning, right? So I'm gonna put here 4. Okay, Then we want to receive a dash. Do you see here in yellow, in blue, we can see the dash. We want to receive 2 digits between 0 and 9 again, another dash, and 2 digits between 0 and 9 again. All right, this is the pattern. Do you see? If we put here July 07, July 3, 1998, it won't get this pattern here, all right, because it don't match, all right? So the matching is working the way that it's supposed to do. So let's get here this regular expression and let's apply in here. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna check if read.search, so we're gonna use the search function. If this read.search, we can find the specific pattern that we're looking for. All right, so I'm gonna put here this to limit that we wanna find exactly this part, all right? And I'm gonna put here the letter R, because I don't know if you remember the problem set 7 about regular expressions, that if we wanna work with testing later, we need to use this R in here to make this a raw string, all right? But don't worry. Okay, so we want to look for this pattern in which variable? In our birth date variable. Okay, if this is true, we can move on. So if this is true, we are going to split our birthday in the slash. All right, in the slash, no, in the dash. All right, so if this is true, we're going to make in here, I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna create 3 variables: year, month, day, and I'm gonna use the split function. So birth date dot split, and we wanna split every time it appears the dash. Okay, so this way we're gonna get the year, the month, and the day, the way that we're looking for. All right, and then we're gonna return year, month, and day. Okay, for the good case. Otherwise, if we don't receive anything, we're not going to return anything. All right, so this part of handling this function we're going to do now in the main. Okay, so this is how we can check if we are assuming the correct format for the birthday. And now we're going to grab this information in our main function. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to do try and accept. Remember from the previous lectures, try and accept. We're going to try one part of the code. If this part of the code does not work, we're going to the accept block. All right, so what are we going to try? We're going to try to create a variable called year, month, and day, and we're going to call the function check birthday. All right, and we're going to pass the variable birth date. Okay, we're going to try to do this. If we can't, we're going to the accept block, and we're going to display this invalid date. Okay, but we're not going to only display the invalid date. We're going to use the sys.exit function. All right, so I forgot to import here the re library, so import re, and I'm going to import sys as well, because we're going to use right now. Okay, so in here we're going to do sys.exit, and we're going to display a message invalid date. Okay, so let's test. Otherwise, if we pass all the tests, I'm going to print here year, month, and day. I want to show you how it works. Okay, so let's see. If we run Python seasons.py, and I put here, for example, July 3, 1998, we're going to receive invalid date. All right, if I put here 1998 0703, it's going to give us the correct format. But what if I don't put the 0 before 7 and 3? If we put 1998 7 and 3, this is an invalid date as well. Okay, so it seems to be working, this part of check birthday. Now let's continue the problem. So now we need to convert this year, month, and day into a regular date. All right, we see here in CS50, if we take a look in hints, they ask us to use this date class, all right, that comes with some operations, some methods that we can work. So we're gonna use this date, okay, we're gonna convert, and also if you take a look in here, CS50 already gave us this from date time import date, so we're gonna use this date method method to convert our year, month, and day into a regular date, okay? Then we're gonna get today's date. Today is June 8th, okay? And then we're going to subtract the birthday with the today's date and then do this multiplication here that CS50 gave to us. We're gonna multiply the day by 24 hours and by 60 minutes, and this will give us the total amount, all right, that we want to get. Well, that's it, okay? Later on, we're gonna see other things that we might do. So first, I'm gonna remove this print in here, okay? And I'm gonna create a variable after this except block. This variable, I'm gonna store the birth date, all right? So the date of birth, so here, date of birth, and now with all complete, okay? And we're gonna use this date method here. So let me open up this date. I'm gonna open up this link, okay, of CS50, and here basically it tells us to all arguments are required. Arguments must be integers in the following range. If the argument outside blah blah blah, it will raise a value error. That's fine. So basically the date object represents a date in an idealized calendar, the current Gregorian calendar, all right? So this will give us the year, month, and date, okay? We're gonna use exactly this thing, this property, okay? And we change to hours. So we're gonna do this. And one thing that is important to see is that our year, month, and day here, since we're using the split method, they are gonna be strings. So we need to convert them into integers, otherwise it won't work, all right? Arguments must be integers. So let's do this part in here. We're gonna do an int to all these variables, and then it won't broke, okay? And int day. So let's print the date of birth, and we can see what is going on, okay? So let's run this again. If I run here 1998-0703, it will give us the same thing because it's making this in a date format, all right? Now we need to get today's date, and we can use again this date time today, all right? So it will get this method will return the current local date, okay? And we're gonna use this in here. So I'm gonna create a new variable, all right? And I'm gonna call date, so date of today, okay? And I'm gonna use this function that is the date dot today, the one that we just saw, okay? Let's print this date of today to see what's going on, okay? So if I run this again, my birthday is 1998-0703, and today's date is 2022, June and 08. All right, so far so good. Now we need to subtract these two dates to check how many days we have between them. All right, so what are we gonna do? Days, years, blah, blah, blah. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna create here a variable called diff of difference, and I'm gonna do date of today minus date of birthday, date of birth, okay? And let's see what the diff variable means. So if I do this in here and I run python seasons.py, I put 0703, and it is giving us 8,741 days, all right? So basically this diff will return us the days, and here we have some minutes. So to access the days, we put here dot days, all right? Let's see again. If we run again the year of my birth, here now it's giving us the days, okay? So now we just need to convert these days into minutes. So we're gonna put total minutes, and I'm gonna do diff.days times 24 hours times 60 minutes, okay? So if we take a look in here, total minutes, it will return us the correct value. All right, for example, I'm gonna put the day of yesterday, so 2022 0607, and it's giving us the amount. All right, so far so good, it is working. But if you take a look in here in CS50, they are asking us to print not the number of minutes, but this here 525,600 minutes, all right? And how can we do this? If you take a look here in hints, they are telling us to use this inflect module. So remember to install this pip install inflect in your computer. Are already installed, all right? So let's see the documentation in here, okay? So basically, if we open up in here, remember to install, like I said, and we can work with a function that has name. You can take a look in here, right? Since I already know, I will go directly to what we're gonna work. But you can search for number two words, okay? So number two words will do the following. If you pass a number here like 1234, it will convert into 1234, all right? And we can use this function in here. So let's apply in our code. To start working with this, we need to import inflect and use this p equals to inflect.ing. So I'm gonna put this in the top of our code. Okay, and now we're going to create this variable. So I'm going to create a variable called output, and I'm going to use the function numbers to word. Okay, let me get here, numbers to word. So this is exactly how we're going to do numbers to word, and we're going to put the number inside the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. And what will be our numbers to word? It will be the total minutes, okay? And in the end, we just need to print this, all right? And if you take a look, the first letter is in capital, so we need to capitalize. Here it is not in capital, okay? So we're gonna do the following. We're gonna print output dot capitalize to make this in capital. And then we need to word the word minutes, okay? Because we want to print all the number, and in the end we have here the word minutes. So let's see. If we do this again, if I put here 2022 0607, it will give us 1440 minutes. One thing that we can barely see here in CS50 is that we don't want the word and. I remember that they put this in some part of the code, okay? But basically here, without any and between the words, so without any and between the words. How can we remove this and? We can use something that it's this ends with, where it is, the and word, and we can make this as a second parameter to our number two words, okay? And this will remove the letter and. So I'm gonna put in here. Let's try this again. Okay, 1998 0607, and now it's not giving us, sorry, I put a huge number, but it's not giving us the word and anymore. All right, so it seems correct. I know I talked too much, but now let's focus on doing the testing and then doing the check 50. So to do the testing, let's see the animation for testing in Python. For example, we have a variable x equals to hello. If we want to check, we do x equals to hello, assert x equals goodbye. The assert keyword lets you test if a condition in your code returns true. If not, the program will raise an assert error. In this case, the assert will raise an assert error because hello is not equals to goodbye. Thinking about another example where we want to check if our function is working. Let's suppose we have the file above. Def main, this is our main function, and we're printing 2 square is, and we're calling the function square, passing the parameter 2. Then we are defining our square function, and our parameter is n, and we're doing return n times n. If we want to test the square function, we can run the test underscore calculator.py, where we do from calculator import square, then we define our main function calling the function test square, and then we define our test square function doing assert square 2 is equals to 4. In this test, the assert keyword will return true because the square of 2 is 4. This means that our function is working the way that it's supposed to. If we change the function with square by returning only n instead of n times n, once we run the test, the assert keyword will raise an assert error because our function is telling us that square of 2 is true, but it should be 4. This means that there is something wrong with the square function. So now CS50 asks us to do one testing, at least one function to test, alright? So I already created here the pseudocode for the test underscore seasons.py file, alright? I imported my check birthday function in here, okay? And I want to test this birthday function, okay? So basically I'm gonna try some formats and I'm gonna see if my code is returning me the year, month, and day, or it's returning none. Okay, so let's use the assert keyword that we saw before. So assert, and I'm gonna call the function check birthday, and I'm gonna pass here my my birth date in the correct format. So 1998 0703. And what this will return to us. So this will return to us, since it's the correct format, it will return to us the year, the month, and the day, okay? So it will return here the year in a tuple, the month, and the day, okay? That's it. What if we put a different format that is not the correct one? So if I put here check birthday, and I put now 1998, 7 without the 0 before, and 3 without the 0 before. This is not the correct format. So if we don't give the correct format, we're not returning anything. So we can say that the function will return none, all right? None. And if I test again with something else, check birthday, and I put here July 3, 1998, it will return us none as well, because we don't have something specific for this. I put here 1 equals, but it should be double, okay? So let's test. We should pass all the tests. If we do test py test underscore seasons.py, we should pass all the tests, and we pass, okay? Now let's do check 50 and see if we got all green. So like we saw here, we got our green, so this means that we are correct, all right? Before we go, I would like to say that I spent too much time in this project, all right, in this problem, and try to think that we don't need the leap years, we don't need to count the leap years, all right? You can work without them. And like, don't be hard on yourself. It's normal to spend some time doing a project. The CS50 is it's a really good course, and it's challenging, so don't worry, right? Don't give up. You're almost in the end of the course. Okay, so if you enjoyed this content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to have full support from programming expert, check the description below, or if you have any questions, send here on the comment. All right, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.